statement from the National Weather Service. For the following, tidal Potomac from Key Bridge to Indian Head, Maryland. Tidal Potomac from Indian Head to Cobb Island, Maryland. Chesapeake Bay north of Pools Island, Maryland. Chesapeake Bay from Pools Island to Sandy Point, Maryland. Patapsco River and Chester River. Small craft advisory remains in effect from 6 p.m. this evening to 6 a.m. Friday. Gale warning in effect from 6 a.m. Friday to midnight Friday night. The National Weather Service in Baltimore, Maryland/Washington has issued a gale warning, which is in effect from 6 a.m. Friday to midnight Friday night. A gale warning means winds of 34 to 47 knots are imminent or occurring. Operating a vessel in gale conditions requires experience and a properly equipped vessel. Recreational boaters should seek safe harbor prior to the onset of gale conditions. A small craft advisory means winds of 18 to 33 knots are imminent or occurring. Boaters operating smaller vessels should avoid navigating in these conditions. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. For the following, Chesapeake Bay from Sandy Point to North Beach, Maryland. Chesapeake Bay from North Beach to Drum Point, Maryland. Eastern Bay, Choptank River, and Pawtuxet River. Small craft advisory remains in effect from noon today to 6 a.m. Friday. Gale warning in effect from 6 a.m. Friday to midnight Friday night. The National Weather Service in Baltimore, Maryland/Washington has issued a gale warning, which is in effect from 6 a.m. Friday to midnight Friday night. A gale warning means winds of 34 to 47 knots are imminent or occurring. Operating a vessel in gale conditions requires experience and a properly equipped vessel. Recreational boaters should seek safe harbor prior to the onset of gale conditions. A small craft advisory means winds of 18 to 33 knots are imminent or occurring. Boaters operating smaller vessels should avoid navigating in these conditions. Flood watch in effect from 11 a.m. this morning through Friday morning. The National Weather Service and State College has issued a flood watch for a portion of central Pennsylvania, including the following areas: Adams, Dauphin, Lancaster, Lebanon, and York. From 11 a.m. this morning through Friday morning, a soaking rain will develop early today and continue into tonight. Rainfall amounts of 1.50 to 2.50 inches can be expected. The potential will be for flooding along streams and creeks, as well as in normal low-lying flood-prone areas. Review flood safety and preparation at Governor/Safety Flood. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. Flood watch in effect from 8 a.m. this morning through late tonight. The National Weather Service in Mount Holly has issued a flood watch for portions of northern Delaware, northeast Maryland, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, including the following areas: in northern Delaware, Newcastle; in northeast Maryland, Cecil and Kent, Maryland; Morris, northwestern Burlington, Salem, Somerset, and Warren; in Pennsylvania, Berks, Delaware, eastern Chester, eastern Montgomery, Lehigh, Lower Bucks, Northampton, Philadelphia, Upper Bucks, western Chester, and western Montgomery. From 8 a.m. this morning through late tonight, between 1.5 and 2 inches of rain with locally higher amounts will fall throughout the day today and into tonight. Bands of moderate to locally heavy rain will develop across the region today and will continue through tonight. In the areas of heaviest rainfall, urban and poor drainage, flooding may occur. A flood watch means there is a potential for flooding based on current forecasts. You should monitor later forecasts and be alert for possible flood warnings. Those living in areas prone to flooding should be prepared to take action should flooding develop. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. Flood watch now in effect from 10 a.m. this morning through this evening. The flood watch is now in effect for portions of Maryland, the District of Columbia, and Northern Virginia, including the following areas: in Maryland, Anne Arundel, Carroll, Central and Southeast Howard, Central and Southeast Montgomery, Frederick, Maryland, Northern Baltimore, Northwest Hartford, Northwest Howard, Northwest Montgomery, Prince George's, Southeast Hartford, and Southern Baltimore. The District of Columbia. In Northern Virginia, Arlington Falls Church and Alexandria, Eastern Loudoun, Fairfax, Prince William, Manassas and Manassas Park, and Western Loudoun. From 10 a.m. this morning through this evening, a widespread soaking rain of 1 to 2 inches is expected. Isolated amounts of around 3 inches are possible. The steadiest rain is expected between 10 a.m. this morning and 6 p.m. this evening, with residual runoff possibly persisting through late this evening. The These rainfall amounts may cause small streams and creeks to go out of their banks, as well as cause flooding of low-lying, urban and poor drainage areas. The flood watch means there is a potential for flooding based on current forecasts. You should monitor later forecasts and be alert for possible flood warnings. Those living in areas prone to flooding should be prepared to take action should flooding develop. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service in Sterling, Virginia has issued a flood watch for the Monocacy River near Frederick. From this morning until Friday evening at 10 a.m. Thursday, the stage was 3.7 feet. Flood stage is 15.0 feet. Forecast has it reaching 14.8 feet early Friday afternoon. Minor flooding is possible. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. For the following county, District of Columbia, coastal flood advisory remains in effect until 2 a.m. Friday. Locations, shoreline in the District of Columbia and Arlington County and the city of Alexandria. Tidal departure, 1.5 to 2.0 feet above normal. Timing, around the time of high tide. High tide at the Washington Channel at 9:28 p.m. Thursday evening and at Alexandria at 9:46 p.m. Thursday evening. Impacts, shoreline inundation is expected along portions of the seawall adjacent to Ohio Drive and the Haynes Point Loop Road, and near the Tidal Basin and Jefferson Memorial. Minor shoreline inundation up to 1 foot above ground is possible elsewhere. A coastal flood advisory indicates that offshore winds and tides will combine to generate flooding of low areas along the shore. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. For the following county, Charles, Maryland. Coastal flood advisory in effect until 8 p.m. this evening. The National Weather Service in Baltimore, Maryland/Washington has issued a coastal flood advisory, which is in effect until 8 p.m. this evening. Locations, shoreline in Charles County and King George County. Tidal departure, 1.0 to 1.5 feet above normal. Timing, around the time of high tide. High tide at Dahlgren is at 4:11 p.m. Impacts, water is expected to reach yards near Cobb Island and docks near Dahlgren. Minor shoreline inundation up to 1 foot above ground is possible elsewhere. A coastal flood advisory indicates that onshore winds and tides will combine to generate flooding of low areas along the shore. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. For the following county, District of Columbia, and the following counties, in Virginia, Arlington, Clark, Fairfax, Fauquier, Frederick, Loudoun, Prince William, and Warren, and the following independent cities, in Virginia, Fairfax, Manassas Park, and Manassas. The National Weather Service in Sterling, Virginia has issued a flood warning for the West Central District of Columbia, Loudoun County in Northern Virginia, Southeastern Frederick County in Northwestern Virginia, the city of Fairfax in Northern Virginia, Northwestern Arlington County in Northern Virginia, Fairfax County in Northern Virginia, Northern Warren County in Northwestern Virginia, Clark County in Northwestern Virginia, Fauquier County in Northern Virginia, the city of Manassas Park in Northern Virginia, Prince William County in Northern Virginia, the city of Manassas in Northern Virginia, until 10 p.m. Thursday. At 3:58 p.m., Doppler radar indicated that moderate to heavy rain was falling over the area, with numerous road closures due to flooding. Up to 2 inches of rain has already fallen, with an additional inch of rain possible through this evening. Some locations that may experience flooding include Arlington, Centerville, Bethesda, Reston, Leesburg, Annandale, Winchester, South Riding, Herndon, Fairfax, Vienna, Front Royal, Falls Church, Broadlands, Lansdowne, Lowe's Island, Brambleton, Warrenton, Mantua, and Plymouth Hills. Turn around. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Please report flooding to your local law enforcement agency when you can do so safely. A flood warning means that flooding is imminent or occurring. All interested parties should take necessary precautions immediately. Friday, the stage was 6.5 feet and rising. Flood stage is 7.5 feet. Minor flooding is forecast. Forecast. Rise above flood stage by early this evening and crest near 9.1 feet by overnight tonight. The river will fall below flood stage by late tomorrow morning. Impact at 7.5 feet. Portions of the Seneca Creek Greenway are flooded. A small portion of Berryville Road west of Darnestown begins to flood. Flood history. This crest compares to a previous crest of 8.9 feet on July 29, 2017. The National Weather Service in Sterling, Virginia has issued a flood warning for the Goose Creek near Leesburg from late tonight until Friday afternoon. At 5 p.m. Thursday, the stage was 5.9 feet and rising. Flood stage is 12.0 feet. Minor flooding is forecast. Forecast. Rise above flood stage overnight tonight and 4 feet. The river will fall below flood stage at late tomorrow morning. Impact at 13.0 feet. Water reaches backyards near Highway 15 south of Leesburg. A low spot on State Route 650, Oatlands Road, is flooded. Flood history. This crest compares to a previous crest at 12.6 feet on September 28, 2018. From the National Weather Service. For the following counties in Maryland, Frederick and Washington.
Classic static sound is back.
And the following counties in West Virginia, Berkeley and
Hear the
Jefferson.
static? It's back.
The National Weather Service in Sterling, Virginia has issued a flood warning for Washington County in north central Maryland, Frederick County in north central Maryland, northern Loudoun County in northern Virginia, Jefferson County in the panhandle of West Virginia, eastern Berkeley County in the panhandle of West Virginia, until midnight Friday. At 5:54 p.m., Doppler radar heavy rain falling across the area with 1.5 to 2 inches of rain have already fallen. Additional rainfall this evening of upwards of an inch will cause flooding of small creeks and streams. The stream gauge on Catoctin Creek in Waterford reported a stage of 7.4 feet and rising. At 8 feet, the landfills near the creek began to flood. Some locations that may experience flooding include Frederick, Hagerstown, Thurmond, Charlestown, Pittsburgh, Shepherdstown, Municipal Stadium, Harry Grove Stadium, Ballinger Creek, Robinwood, Brunswick, Walkersville, Fountainhead Orchard Hills, Ranson, Boonesboro, Smithsburg, Braddock Heights, Paramount Longmeadow, Wilson, Conococheague, and Williamsport. Turn around. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Be especially cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. A flood warning means that flooding is imminent or occurring. All interested parties should take necessary precautions immediately. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. For the following county, District of Columbia, and the following counties in Virginia, Arlington and Fairfax, and the following independent cities in Virginia, Alexandria and Falls Church. The National Weather Service in Sterling, Virginia has issued a flood warning for the District of Columbia, Arlington County in northern Virginia, the southeastern city of Falls Church in northern Virginia, southeastern Fairfax County in northern Virginia, the city of Alexandria in northern Virginia, until 12:30 a.m. Friday. At 6:24 p.m., stream gauges indicate minor flooding is occurring on Rock Creek with a reported stage of 7 feet and rising. At 7 feet, water reaches several portions of the Valley Trail between picnic areas 7 and 10 in Rock Creek Park. The stream gauge on Cameron Run at Huntington indicated a stage of 6.1 feet and rising. At 6.5 feet, water begins to cover the end of Fenwick Drive. Light to moderate rain over the next several hours will deliver up to 1/2 inch of additional rainfall. Some locations that may experience flooding include Arlington, Alexandria, Annandale, Springfield, Fort Washington, Fort Hunt, Groveton, Falls Church, Huntington, Fort Belvoir, Woodbridge, National Harbor, National Park, Howard University, Gallaudet University, Fort Hutton, Reagan National Airport, Rosslyn, Crystal City, and RFK Stadium. Turn around. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Be especially cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. A flood warning means that flooding is imminent or occurring. All interested parties should take necessary precautions immediately. 8:15 p.m. for northwestern Newcastle, Cecil, Berks, northwestern Montgomery, and Chester counties. At 6:24 p.m., Doppler radar and automated rain gauges indicated rain continuing, with heavier rain possibly moving into the advisory area later this evening. Gauges have reached action stage on the Christina River at Coots Bridge, the Perkiomen Creek at East Greenville, and the French Creek at Phoenixville. The gauge on the East Branch Brandywine Creek in Downingtown is expected to reach action stage soon. Additionally, road flooding has been reported in Amity Township in Berks County. Up to 2 inches of rain has fallen in portions of Chester, Cecil, and Berks counties. Urban and small stream flooding is expected to continue for the next few hours. Some locations that could experience flooding include Reading, Newark, Middletown, Westchester, Elkton, Calvert, Pottstown, Phoenixville, Coatesville, Wyomissing, Downingtown, Ellesmere, Kennett Square, Newcastle, Burnsboro, Collegeville, Oxford, Kutztown, Royersford, and Hamburg. Excessive runoff from heavy rainfall will cause flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses, as well as other drainage areas and low-lying spots. A flood advisory means river or stream flows are elevated, or ponding of water in urban or other areas is occurring or is imminent. The National Weather Service in Sterling, Virginia has issued a flood warning for the Rapidan River near Culpeper from this evening until Friday afternoon. At 7 p.m. Thursday, the stage was 9.0 feet and rising. Flood stage is 13.0 feet. Minor flooding is forecast. Forecast. Rise above flood stage by late this evening and crest near 14.5 feet by overnight tonight. The river will fall below flood stage by late tomorrow morning. Impact. At 14.0 feet, River Road on the Orange County side of the Rapidan River is flooded in a few spots, and Fosterland is flooded on both sides of the river. Other low-lying roads near the river are also beginning to flood, and access to homes may become limited. No structures are affected at this level. Flood history. This crest compares to a previous crest of 14.5 feet on June 4, 2018. From the National Weather Service. For the following counties, in Maryland, Carroll, Frederick, and Montgomery. The National Weather Service in Sterling, Virginia has issued a flood warning for Western Carroll County in north-central Maryland, Montgomery County in central Maryland, Eastern Frederick County in north-central Maryland, until 2 a.m. At 8:05 p.m., Emergency Management reported several roads closed due to high water across the area, including Beach Drive in lower Montgomery County and Longhouse Road near Damascus. Up to 2 inches of rain have already fallen, with another half inch of rain possible through this evening. Some locations that may experience flooding include Germantown, Rockville, Bethesda, Gaithersburg, Olney, Damascus, Lansdowne, Lowe's Island, Poolsville, Aspen Hill, Potomac, North Bethesda, Montgomery Village, North Potomac, Redland, Great Falls, Countryside, Chevy Chase, North Kensington, and Mount Airy. Turn around. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Be especially cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. The following is a flood statement. Delaware, Cecil County in northeastern Maryland, Berks County in eastern Pennsylvania, northwestern Montgomery County in southeastern Pennsylvania, Chester County in southeastern Pennsylvania, until 12:15 a.m. At 7:49 p.m., several river gauges had reached action stage in the advisory area, including the Christina River at Coots Bridge, the Perkiomen Creek at East Greenville, the French Creek at Phoenixville, the east branch of Brandywine Creek at Downingtown, and the west branch of Brandywine Creek at Honeybrook. Although rain is relatively light at this time, steady rain may occur later this evening, potentially exacerbating urban and small stream flooding already occurring. Some locations that could experience flooding include Reading, Newark, Middletown, Westchester, Elkton, Calvert, Pottstown, Phoenixville, Coatesville, Wyomissing, Downingtown, Ellesmere, Kennett Square, Newcastle, Birdsboro, Collegeville, Oxford, Kutztown, Royersford, and Hamburg. Be especially cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. Excessive runoff from heavy rainfall will cause flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses, as well as other drainage areas and low-lying spots.
My county.
This is a statement from the National Weather Service. For the following counties, in Maryland, Anne Arundel, Baltimore, Carroll, Harford, and Howard, and the Maryland independent city of Baltimore, the National Weather Service in Sterling, Virginia has issued a flood warning for Carroll County in north-central Maryland, Baltimore City in northern Maryland, northern Anne Arundel County in central Maryland, Howard County in central Maryland, Harford County in northern Maryland, Baltimore County in northern Maryland, until 3:45 a.m. Friday. At 9:44 p.m., stream gauges indicate flooding is imminent on many streams and creeks in northeastern Maryland, including the Baltimore metropolitan area. Some locations that may experience flooding include Baltimore, Columbia, Severn, Pikesville, Middle River, Cockeysville, Westminster, Elk Ridge, Aberdeen, Havre de Grace, Riviera Beach, Aberdeen Proving Ground, Baltimore Washington Airport, Fort Smallwood State Park, Gibson Island, Sillery Bay, Mueller's Island, North Point State Park, Sparrows Point, and Pinehurst. Turn around. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Be especially cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. The National Weather Service in Sterling, Virginia has issued a river flood warning for the Monocacy River near Frederick from Friday morning until late Friday night. At 9 p.m. Thursday, the stage was 9.9 feet and rising. Flood stage is 15.0 feet. Minor flooding is forecast. Forecast: rise above flood stage by late tomorrow morning and crest near 15.8 feet by mid-afternoon tomorrow. River will fall below flood stage by early tomorrow evening. Impact at 16.0 feet. Much of Pinnacle Park and Rivermiss Park in Frederick are flooded. Buckeyestown Community Park is also flooded with water approaching the parking lot. Waters are also approaching the Frederick City Wastewater Treatment Plant and the Ballinger Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant. Significant backwater flooding is occurring. Several roads will be closed along the river and adjoining creeks. Flood history. This crest compares to a previous crest of 15.7 feet on August 4, 2018.